there, welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. If this is your first time here, I post all sorts of DIY and craft related videos. So you might want to go ahead and hit that red subscribe button, that notification bell, so you don't miss out on any further videos from me. So for this video and the two upcoming videos, it's going to be a series. We're going to be working on some Easter decor using mostly supplies from Dollar Tree. They will all be rustic, a little bit farmhouse, crazy fun, crazy cute. I hope you like them. First up, we're going to be working on an Easter garland. So let's get started. So the main things you're going to need from Dollar Tree for this are 3 of the Happy Easter signs, 2 of this bunny with carrot signs, some Easter eggs, and some twine. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the bunny away from the Happy Easter portion of these signs. So I'm just drawing out the rest of the feet, and I'm taking some scissors and I'm just cutting nice and slow, short cuts. If you do this, the wood is very thin, and cutting kind of real short cuts and nice and slow, the bunny should come off really easy without harming any of it, without splitting the wood or anything like that. But once you take it off, you do have some rough edges, so on all 3 bunnies I'm going ahead and just sanding around the feet, so make them all nice and smooth. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and sand this Happy Easter portion. Just on one of them, you're going to need to save it, set it aside for our next video. So this bunny and carrot sign, I'm going to detach all 4 carrots. Okay, but go ahead and save the head. We're going to need that for the next video as well. Now I'm going ahead and I'm removing the paper from all 4 of the carrots. Once I get that done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark all my bunnies and my carrots. Okay, so I mark everything in numerical order, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the carrots, and then 1, 2, 3 on the bunnies, of course, and then I mark it with a B or an F to simulate back or front. And then I'm going to paint around all the perimeter with that oyster white ceram coat acrylic paint. And the reason I mark everything is because even though I'm sure all these pieces are, mass cut and produced off great big machines, they all can come out maybe a little bit irregularly shaped or something like that. So I mark them, numerical order, front and back. So as I trace them, after I've cut everything out, I know exactly which piece goes to which bunny or which carrot. Okay, I'm cutting 1 bunny out of the print paper and then 2 of my bunnies out of the stripe paper. And then all my carrots, they're all painted, ready to go. And they're not greatly painted, I just painted around the perimeter. Cutting the bottom portion of the carrot's going to kind of be this reddish orange plaid paper, and I just trace around the bottom part of that. And then the greenery part of the carrot is going to be on this green paper here, and see how I just traced the top portion of that. And then of course cut everything out. So what I want to do is distress the edges of all my pieces. So I'm taking the opened end of my scissor blades and I'm scraping along the edges of all the pieces just to add a little more texture and give it more of a rustic feel. See, I think that looks really great all distressed like that. All right. So I'm going to sew around all the edges of my paper. This is optional, you don't have to do it. But what I'm going to do is, so I can attach the 2 pieces of the carrot, I'm laying it down on the carrot, adding a little bit of glue just on top of the greenery, and then laying the bottom part of the carrot on there so that they are attached when I take it to the sewing machine. If you don't want to sew around it, of course, like I said, it's optional, you don't have to. Go ahead now and start gluing all your pieces of paper to your bunnies and your carrots. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just, on camera, I'm going to glue 1 carrot together, 1 bunny together, just so you can see the process, because I know you are super interested in watching me glue these to the pieces. And the rest, of course, I will do off camera. I just want to show you the process of a little bit of it. That's so super cute. I just love how those carrots turned out. All 4 of those are ready, and then we'll go ahead and do one bunny. And I decided to do one print for a bunny and then a couple of bunnies in stripe paper because the colors match really well, and I just thought it would be pretty to kind of, you know, mix and match a couple of the papers, give it a little bit more interest to the garland. So that was my thought anyway, because I had enough to do all stripe, but I decided I just want the center bunny different. And so now I want to add even more texture, so I'm taking those scissor blades again while everything is glued onto the wood pieces and then distressing it again, rubbing it along, scraping it along, just to make it even look more textured as it's already glued on. And so I thought now I want to take the same oyster white paint, add a little water, and I thought I'd go ahead and add some splatters to just the greenery of the carrot. But by the time I get to the last carrot, I decide I want the greenery or the splatter on everything, not just the greenery. So I'm going to splatter all the carrots front and back and splatter all the bunnies front and back. I thought that just added great texture to all these pieces. Did I say I was going to add greenery to the carrots? When I first said that, I was sitting there thinking, did I say I was going to splatter the carrots right at the beginning? I hope I did. It's really late as I'm doing this. So what I'm going to do now is I have this sign from Dollar Tree, and it had some really good thin burlap ribbon on it. So I'm going to use this to make some bows for my bunny. So I just detached this burlap from the Dollar Tree sign. See, I'm going to do like a double bow here on all my bunnies. So I'm going to make 3 bows because I didn't have any thin burlap ribbon. So that sign just happened to be sitting next to me because I had pulled a bunch of stuff out for this garland, and I was like, ooh, that's just the exact size I need. So I went ahead and just pulled it off the sign. And so now I'm going to make 3 twine bows as well here. And I'm going to glue those right on top of that burlap trim. And then just to add a little bit more texture, I've got these cute wooden buttons in my supply, and I'm going to go ahead and add those right on top. So all my bunnies have 2 bows and a button. Of course, you can do as many bows or buttons or no buttons as you want. If you want just a twine bow and call it good, that is perfect. Whatever you would like. Everything is optional here. So there they all are completed. And I'm going to move on to the carrots. So on the carrots, I'm just adding a twine bow and a button. That is it. Super cute. So I'll go ahead and do 2 more. Yeah, I really love the splatters on these. I think that just added some great character to all the pieces. Get those buttons on there. And then we're going to move on to the eggs for the garland here. I'll just be doing one on camera for you. Aren't those super cute? So these eggs that I got, they actually had holes in the top and the bottom. So I got a little piece of twine, and it was perfect because it allowed me to make a loop to hang these eggs on our garland. Now if you get eggs that don't have the holes, just, you know, tie a knot like I'm doing here and just glue it to the top of the egg. Not a big deal. And I'm going to go ahead and glue my egg shut, adding a tiny piece of twine right in between that loop there to cover that up. Because then what we're going to do is we're going to start to take this twine and we're going to wrap it around the entire egg. So we're going to add a little more glue to start, and then we're going to start wrapping the glue right around, or the twine right around that loop onto that glue. So just keep repeating the process, adding glue and wrapping the twine. I'll give you a peek here at what it should look like when we're all done. I'll bring up another egg here that's done right here, just like that. That's what we're hoping to get here when we're all done. And so again, just keep wrapping. When you get to the bottom, it gets a little bit kind of fun to wrap in a circle there, but get it all covered up. Perfect. Just like that. And then all we're going to do, add one more twine bow to all our eggs right at the top near that loop. And then our eggs are finished. Those are cute, huh? So now I've done a little bit off camera, but I'm going to take that same paint again, add a little water. I want to add some shading. I want to kind of really bring out, you know, the separate pieces on the carrot. You can see some of the shading there. I'm going to add a little bit of more shading to the top. I did a little bit already, but I wanted to add a little more. So basically I'm just kind of painting it on and then just kind of rubbing it in with my fingers just to give those paper dimension, just to give each piece dimension. But again, this is optional. You don't have to do it. I'm going to add on to my bunnies here. Adding just a little bit. It gives it more of a rustic look, more of a farmhouse appeal. And then I'm going to punch holes in all of my pieces. But if you don't want to do that, just take a little piece of twine, of course. Tie a little knot in the end, just like that. Make a little loop, and then on the back of your bunnies and carrots, you can just super glue that on, okay? But this tool that I have, it's by We Are Memory Keepers. I love it. It goes through wood, paper, of course, plastic, leather, anything. So I'm going to do that to add my pieces. So what I've got here, I'm going to use white twine for my main garland piece. I use about 72 inches of twine. And then at the end of each end, I count out about 7 inches, and then I, double it and make a little loop at each end. So about 7 inches in, I will make my loops. Okay, pull them nice and tight, put the two ends together, and then find your center of your garland. I'm just going to take a piece of twine here and I'm going to mark it just so I know where to put my initial first bunny. Okay, and then I'm going to cut, because I didn't make a loop for the back, I'm going to cut 7 pieces of twine here for all my pieces. Since I punched a hole in it, I need twine to put through the hole to hang my bunnies and carrots onto the twine. And then I've got this burlap trim. You can use burlap trim from Dollar Tree, of course. And I'm going to cut, I only show cutting 4 here at 6 inches, but I'm going to end up cutting 4 for the eggs and 7 more for the bunnies and the carrots. So 11 pieces total. And then you all know me, when I do my rustic, I don't like the wire on my ribbon, so I end up cutting, you don't have to, I end up cutting the wire off the ends of the ribbon. And of course, if you get that burlap trim for Dollar Tree that doesn't even have wire in it, you don't even have to, cut your wire off if you don't want to. But I cut 4 wide pieces for the eggs, and then I cut 7 thinner pieces. So now I'm taping down my twine. Now if you've got your loop that you hot glued on the back and those are all ready, go ahead and slide all your pieces onto your twine. Okay, if you've done the loop. I'm going to tape my twine down really tight at each end here. I've got a different camera view for you. I'm finding my marker in the beginning here, laying my first bunny, and then I'm measuring my space in between all my pieces so I have them all laid out equal distance from each other. Okay. Bring the camera in a little closer. So where my twine marker is, where the center of my garland is, I'm going to pull that off, and that's where I'm going to tie my first bunny. So the bunny is the center since we have an odd number of bunnies. Okay, so now it's on there. I've just tied it. It's kind of hanging. I'm taking a piece of that burlap through the center of the loop where it's hanging, and then tying it up over the knot where I knotted it onto the twine. Okay, bring it in a little closer for you. I'll show you again. So it's going to hang off that twine. I'm going to tie a little knot. Get that the right spacing that I want. Okay, so see how easily it slides? I'm going to take a piece of that ribbon, slide it through that loop, up over where I knotted it above on the twine, a little half knot, and that'll tie it in place. So on the egg, it's already ready. So I'm grabbing my thicker piece, just kind of making sure it's even on there, bringing it up onto the twine and tying a half knot. Done. Okay, so we're going to repeat this process all the way down each side of the garland. So we're back to another bunny again. Same thing, I've went ahead and tied them off camera. Now I'm just adding the burlap ribbon for you. Now we're going on to the other side. Same process all the way around, just keeping your spacing, tying it up and through. And plus, when you add ribbon like that, it gives it a nice farmhouse effect too, a nice farmhouse appeal. And this is what it looks like, just kind of all tied. I just want to show you here on my workstation, and then I'll show you the final end piece hanging up, because at the beginning I just showed you just some individual pictures. Sorry for that, that's my lighting, my light pole there. So just kind of showing you what it looks like, and here's the end result, just kind of hanging up, nice and cute. So I hope you enjoyed this garland tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know, of course. Tell me what your favorite part of this was. Do you like the bunnies best, or the carrots, or do you like the eggs? I'd really love to hear from you. Leave me a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot. Stay tuned for video number 2 in our next series. I'll have all my social media links down below. Come follow me on Instagram, on Pinterest, and on my blog. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.